I do a variety of different kinds of body work. The main one I would do is lymphatic drainage, which boosts the immune system in the horse. I see it's quite a common issue with horses. I think stress has a big factor to play in the function of the immune system. So whether it's physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress, environmental stress, it's lowering the immunity of the horse. And that's why I started to look into nutrition more, because nutrition was so important. Body work on its own wasn't fixing the problem. Bloating in horses has a variety of causes. I think nutrition is a huge part to play in that. Nutrition then will affect the horse physically, and also the environment has a lot to do with their health and their well-being and their overall wellness. So I think it's a lot of things need to be considered when your horse is bloated. So if a client contacts me with an issue like intermittent bloating or swelling, I would recommend that we do a nutritional consultation in conjunction with body work, and we peel back the layers from there to see where we can find improvements and where we think the horse may be lacking, whether that's mineral deficiencies, forage issues, training. There's lots of things to consider. To boost immunity throughout the year, I would recommend that you treat your horse as an individual. I would recommend that a horse receives lymphatic drainage. Some horses need more than others, depending on their health. Some horses have issues with their health. They could have airway issues, digestive issues. Lymphatic drainage helps to boost the immunity so that the horse can work better, they can absorb their nutrition better, and then in conjunction with the body work, nutrition needs to be evaluated on an ongoing basis. So their requirements in springtime will be different to autumn. Each season they have different requirements, and also then depending on their level of work, they would have their requirements change throughout the year. So what you feed in January may not be suitable for what you feed in August. It has to change with their workload and the seasons. My own horses at home, we have reseeded the land with different kinds of grasses and herbs, so they grow naturally throughout the season. We use organic soil fertiliser as opposed to grass nitrogen fertiliser. The horses have access to mineral licks, the Humic mineral licks. They have access to salt licks. They have a choice of salts and the Humic, and they are thriving. They're absolutely thriving. We have no issues at home. I would recommend to all of my clients that they allow their horse access to minerals at all times, because you will see that with the seasons their intake changes. So they may not want too much in December, but in April they could need a lot when their kidneys are working harder, and then when their work rate increases they need more as well. So I think with feeds that owners, trainers, riders need to be very aware of what their horse actually needs. Feeding large volumes of feed that aren't balanced is not going to benefit the horse. We need to look at the horse as an individual, look at their work, look at what their actual requirements are, and then apply that to their diet. And we see this in yards daily. All the horses are on the same diet, but they're not all thriving. All the horses are on the same diet, same workload, but the requirements are different. And we need to treat them as individuals. Okay, so sometimes a horse may appear to be stressed, and we need to figure out what's caused that. So we can have a horse who appears to be spooky, or they can be a little bit scared, but a lot of the times it's an issue with their nutrition. So if there's a mineral deficiency in the diet, it will make the muscles tighter, and as a result the horses will be unable to achieve homeostasis. So we need the horses to have 100% of what they need so that their muscles can be healthy, which allows them to have a healthy mind, which will naturally calm the horse. Okay, so humic acids are natural minerals. It's very, very, very important, starting with your brood mares, that they have access to these minerals, especially when they're in foal, because they will create a healthy foal. The joint health, ligament health, cartilage, everything relies on minerals. It's very important for their development, and we prevent illnesses like developmental orthopedic disease, osteoarthritis, OCD. Minerals are so important to the horses, at any age, but especially when they're developing. But for me, I think a holistic approach is very important to every horse, regardless of their job. In my opinion, holistic covers everything. So we're looking at their mental well-being, their physical well-being. That includes their environment, their work, equipment that's used with them. It all has to fit together for the horse to perform well. And if we have an issue with poor nutrition or lack of minerals or poor quality forage, the horse's body can't function the way we would like it to. I think with pasture management, land management, people need to look objectively at their pastures and say, right, okay, what do I need to happen here? So instead of growing large volumes of grass, we want to grow healthy grass. We want to grow different kinds of grasses. And we need to make sure that the soil is healthy for this to happen. So we need to feed the soil to encourage the growth of all the different kinds of herbs and grasses that the horses need in their diet. Humic acid, amazing product for the development of healthy pastures. Chemical fertilisers will develop more grass. We know this, we see it, but having a larger volume of forage or grazing is not necessarily a positive. We need it to be healthy, we need it to be balanced, and we need the soil to be healthy for this to happen. If we constantly use chemical fertilisers, we're damaging the soil. We lose the natural health out of the soil, which affects grass growth. If anyone is interested in how to make their soil better, I would suggest getting soil samples taken, see what is lacking in your soil. The humic acids can balance the soil, which will encourage healthy grass growth, which is much more beneficial long term. So I would recommend get soil samples taken, look at where your land needs help. One you could have 5 paddocks, one paddock could be very healthy and the others could need help. Humic acids, I think, are a very important part of your land management, and they will encourage healthy growth, healthy grass, which equals healthy horses.